Well, there's huge benefits to to our whole area, to all of Washington County. Um, with the golf courses have been an essential part of tourism here in Washington County for many years. Our golf courses are at peak capacity, and any additional golf courses certainly help. This one isn't in the county; it's in the Shivwits Indian Reservation. So that's exciting for the Shivwits to have economic development out in their tribal lands as well.
So how is the county working?
So that's only a relationship just as neighbors and friends. We don't have any say what happens out there. But we're very close with the Shivwits and all the tribes here in southern Utah, and they've been aggressively growing their businesses, and this is another aspect to give them a well-rounded economy out at the tribes,
Great.
tribal lands.
So then what is the balance between adding more development and growing and maintaining what is already here?
Well, that's the question that we all ask, because everyone who comes to St. George loves the small town feel. To all of Washington County, there's a lot of private land that's available for growth, and in a free market economy, we can't control that growth. So we hope to make that, keep our the beauty, to keep the safety, to keep just how wonderful it is down here. We have good developers who are conscious of the water use. They're building beautiful developments like Black Desert, like Desert Color. They're utilizing good water resources for the most part. Of course, we would always like to keep that as little as we can, but they do own those water rights and they can use them. So I think it's just everybody's pitching in.
What ways will development like that help the local economy for jobs or people coming in?
Well, just Desert Color or Black Desert, 3,000 jobs. So it adds a lot of. In Washington County, we've been able to keep our property taxes the same for over 20 years. So that's pretty uncommon in Utah. So that tourism is very beneficial to the citizens of the county.
Will the jobs for development like that be going to more people coming in and moving to our area, or to people who are already living here?
One thing that we've noticed in our numbers is that when a business comes in and creates jobs, very few of those historically have been move-ins. The vast majority of those are for our local residents. So as we keep track of that, we notice that a new business comes in, it's benefit to our existing residents. It's extremely beneficial.
What other big developments have opened recently in the county or plan to soon?
So if you've driven around southern Utah, there's a development, it seems like, on every corner. So I mentioned Black Desert and Desert Colors. There's also a number of, the biggest growth that people are probably not aware of is over in the Hurricane area. Hurricane's the largest city in Washington County by square meters. And they have a development over there called the Gateway Development that has 7,000 new homes coming in. So that's a huge development for Washington County. And there's smaller developments all over. Washington has seen extreme growth, and even our business community is growing. One of the big things that we've struggled with for years is the available commercial space available. And in Washington, we have the RS Southwest Logistics that will add 5 million more square feet of commercial space that is desperately needed. Tech Ridge is another commercial development that not only has housing, they just got approved for a couple of thousand homes or apartments. They also are creating thousands of feet of business space. So we're seeing that growth in housing, which we really need for our children and grandchildren and our teachers and firemen. But we're also seeing business growth that we really love to see to have jobs for that growth.
So what are some of the maybe downsides people should be aware of that come with some of this growth?
Well, no matter how you do it, it seems like some things there are downsides. Traffic, there's increased crime, there's losing our lands. I know one of my favorite places growing up in a kid is right where a development is going in Tokerville. I used to ride my horses out there, and you lose these lands. But they are private, and that's what the free market allows for those private owners to build on those areas. So that's I think a struggle, especially for us who grew up in the area.
I asked this sort of earlier, but say something like more housing going in, then how do we see, is that going to people who need it here, or is that just going to keep attracting more people in, and it's a cycle and you always have to keep developing? Where's the line?
Well, that's the toughest question you have is how many people want to live in Washington County. We always joke that there's 200,000 here, but there's millions in northern Utah. How many of those in northern Utah would love to live here in Washington County? But there's no way you can get around the fact that housing costs are directly affected by the availability of housing. So we know that we do need to increase that housing to have those costs come down. We're seeing our builders step up and offer some more affordable housing. I know that in that development I mentioned in Hurricane, they have some 2 bedrooms around $300,000. We haven't seen that for many years. So we are excited about some of the new growth we're seeing in housing.
Right now it seems Washington County is thriving and adding more and more projects. Is there any concern about too much too fast in the sustainability?
I think that's always our concern. One of the major questions our citizens have is our water use. With all of this growth, can we keep the water? I think our water district has done a wonderful job. In fact, we're just almost at the middle stages of building a reuse water system. So instead of letting our water go down the Virgin, we'll be capturing that water and reusing it. I think that's a huge step. In fact, that's the most important step we're doing in addition to conservation, to having that water availability. And infrastructure is a big problem. As you have these developments go, you need power, you need sewer, you need water. And so I think that's all of us struggle with that to make sure we have that available, but we're doing a good job in Washington County with that.
You've touched on a few, but what would you say are the main initiatives that Washington County is doing to grow sustainably?
So conservation, our citizens have far exceeded our expectations on getting rid of their grass, planting more trees that take less water and more plants. We also are doing the reuse system. I think that's critical, that we're not just letting that water leave. We can use that reuse water 6-7 times. So that's a great benefit to the county. Other things that we're doing is road projects. There's a new road that is Highway 7 that goes past the airport that allows for a lot free flow of traffic around the south and west side of the county. And we have plans for that to extend that to the western side over to Ivins. And hopefully, if we can get the government's cooperation, we can build our northern corridor to allow traffic to go from Ivins to I-15 without coming through our downtown.
And then what would you say to someone who says, we already have a golf course, why bring in something like additional?
Well, we hear that every day. That's a common concern, and these particular golf courses, we really have no control. They're on the nation, and personally, I feel like the Shivwits have been great partners. Their history is farming out there, and for years they haven't been using that water for farming. They've been letting it come for our use, and if they own this water, I hope that they build these golf courses very water frugal, using the water very sparingly. But I'm okay with that. I think it's their land and they own the water, and and I think it'll be great for them and great for tourism, so I'm okay with it.